Alright, so this is our company, BikeSave. So why did we start BikeSave? BikeSave was founded to address the issue of sluggish and expensive transportation on the WVU campus by transforming discarded bicycles into powerful e-bike machines. If you're a student who travels to school every day, you're probably aware of how expensive it could become. Because of this issue, we want to introduce WVU students to a better alternative to driving to school. BikeSave's answer is an affordable method for students to get their hands on a high-powered e-bike capable of handling all terrains in Morgantown, including the steepest of hills. And you know how steep our hills are. They are super, super, super steep, dude. All right, so this is what we got. So we got parking expenses plus gas expenses plus being a college student equals being broke. And that is just the absurd expenses of driving a car for you. And to put it in perspective, the cheapest downtown parking pass is $415 per year, and that's only one of three campuses. One of three campuses. You still have to pay for a pass from the other campuses. And that's just insane. It'll rack up. It could get close to $1,000. It could get $1,000 or more a year, depending on how spread out your classes are. That's just way too much. That's way too much for a college student, and that's why we need to find a solution. So the solution is e-bikes. Before I started school, I knew I needed a way to get to class that didn't involve driving a car because I know how much the parking is and how much it costs to pay for gas expenses a year, and I live off campus, so I need something that's not the PRT to get to class. So I found out that e-bikes were the best option for me because they're the cheapest. It's just the cheapest option, and it's the most freeing option, and it's also just so fun. It's super fun. Riding an e-bike, it's so fun. It feels like it's just like riding a regular bike, but instead you're going at 20 times faster. All right. So the problem with e-bikes is that they're super expensive, and especially the e-bike you need for Morgantown, because here in Morgantown it is so mountainous that commuting requires like a fairly powerful e-bike. And the issue with having a powerful e-bike is that they are super expensive usually. And the standard price for an e-bike or e-bike of the power you need here in Morgantown will be at least $2,000, and that's a lot of money for a college student. And most of them will just be turned off by that. They'll just reject it. They're not gonna want to buy it because there's so much money for a bike. But yeah, that is the main problem with e-bikes. That's why there's not a lot of people on e-bikes yet until we start getting them cheaper. So how do we get past these outrageous prices? So the standard price of a powerful e-bike is way out of reach for me, and I can guarantee that most college students can't afford it either. For this reason, I began researching alternatives and found out that I could build my own e-bike at the fraction of the price of a pre-built e-bike. As a result of this newfound knowledge, I began my own project and built my own e-bike. I was able to get everything to work and built a fast, effective e-bike. The great thing about my e-bike build is that it only cost me $600 compared to the standard prices of $2,000 plus dollars. So how do we build these bikes? So it's really simple, honestly. You just get any bike plus a motor plus a battery, and then that equals a fast and efficient e-bike that's going to save you a lot of money. All right, so these are our prototypes. Prototype number one and prototype number two. Prototype number one is my first build and is the build or is it is the bike that I use to go to class every day. And prototype number two is a e-bike build I made for my girlfriend, and it costs around $600. is a really cheap build, and it's actually just as fast as the expensive one too. They both can get up to 35 miles per hour. Um, Sometimes 40 if you're like pedaling with it, pedaling with a motor. But yeah, as you can see, like $800 for this, $600 for that, compared to an e-bike of the same power would cost 2,000 plus dollars at any like standard bike shop. So here we go. I got a POV field of view video of me riding my e-bike. I'm gonna open it right over here because that's bad quality on that YouTube video. Oh, that's bad quality too. Sorry. So as you can see, this thing is ripping. It's going fast. It'll be able to keep up with cars in the downtown area. If the speed limit's above 25 miles per hour, then you're not going to be keeping up with cars. But you're able to ride this on the main road and without a license too, which is amazing. All right, so our next slide. Oh, all right, so experimenting and perfecting the bike. After the first bike build was successful, there were still numerous issues to work out, such as choppy gear changing, battery voltage sag, uneven chain line, etc. Eventually, after lots of researching, I was able to solve these issues, and along the way, I learned a lot about how bicycle works, and in return, that new knowledge that I gained about bicycles will help assist this business further. All right, so listening to our early adopters and adapting our business towards them. So, I started talking to my friends and introducing them to the idea of riding their bikes or any bike to school. Uh, I started talking to my friends about it because they have the same issues as me. They all live off campus like me, and they drive or walk to school every day. And when I mentioned my e-bike idea to them, they were all really interested and wanted to get involved. But the only thing that kept them from getting involved was it, just buying an e-bike from a shop like Pathfinder's is way too expensive for them. Or if they wanted to, build their own e-bike like I did to save money, um, it was just they just didn't know how to do it and they didn't know how to get started. So thanks to that, thanks to learning their problems with getting an e-bike, I was able to change our business model from just selling e-bikes to offering a bike conversion service. This service that I could turn their bikes into e-bikes for a price. And that is the service that I'm offering, and that is our new model. Instead of just selling bikes, we're also selling servicing. And that'll also and that new model, that new servicing model will open a door to a lot more potential buyers because it's a lot more cheaper to turn a bike into an e-bike rather than just buying one that's pre-built. So here are our potential profits. Um, the aim of BikeSafe is to keep things affordable for students because they're students. And but the only thing about making things affordable is it's hard to make good profit. Um, However, with our new servicing business model, where we transform people's bikes into e-bikes, we'll be able to make good profit while keeping it affordable. So if we look to the right here, I got some cost, revenue, and profit statistics for our two products, our two main things that we're offering. We're offering bike transformation service and a pre-built bike. You can just buy a pre-built bike instead of transforming your bike. So it costs us around $400. We're gonna sell it for $600. We're gonna sell the service for $600, and that'll make us $200 in profit. And so for pre-built bike statistics as well, this is for just selling bikes, selling e-bikes. It'll cost us $600 to build the bike, $1,000, or it'll cost the customer $1,000 to buy our bike, and then in return we'll make $400 in profit. That that's some really good profit in my opinion, especially if you get a lot of people in on it and you get a lot of people buying your bikes. That's a good amount of profit. So in conclusion, BikeSave has lots of potential to tap into a market of WVU students who dislike spending thousands on parking and car expenses per year. And that's it. And yep, yep, that is BikeSave. And we want more people riding bikes. We want less people driving cars because cars are not good for everybody. Cars are just they waste so much space. They destroy infrastructure. If everyone was riding bikes, the world would be a better place. Thank you very much. This is BikeSave. Goodbye.